And they're off.
Further Faster, the best independently owned outdoor store in the known universe. Whether you're heading out on climbing, paddling, tramping or running adventures, look no farther than Further Faster for all your gear and expertise needs over the winter. Head over to 57A, Buchan Street, Sydenham, Ōtautahi, Christchurch, or hit them up at furtherfaster.co.nz.
It goes something like further, faster, there in Christchurch. Rocky is hairy and so is Badger. Jules is nice and Jacob is delicious. Go to further, faster now.
Oh, further, faster, there in Christchurch. Rocky is hairy and so is Badger. Jules is nice and Jacob is delicious.
Go to further, faster now.
Dirt Church Radio.
Episode 355 of Dirt Church Radio, your trail and ultramarathon podcast. I'm Matt Raymond.
I'm Ali Pottinger.
And I'm Andrew McDowall. Hi.
It's our last show of the year, buddies. What a 2025. It's the last time the triumvirate of Dirt Church Radio will be together in the one digital space. And Andrew, you handled the interview this week. What was it?
Oh, man, I was very lucky. I got to go out and go out to the deli, which you'll hear in the interview, I got the name wrong, which was a really good start to an interview, but that's okay. To interview Damian Watson, who has had the most fascinating year. Anyone who follows him on Strava or have heard some of his tales of adventures will know that 200-miler specialist he seems to have become. And I got to sit down with him with views out to the forest and the ocean and chat about how it's all been and how he came to be so darn good at that sort of a race. Probably one of the highlights was the food at the deli. Absolutely amazing.
I was about to ask how it was. Because I met him at the Spectacle with Matt and he's got a little croissant tattooed on his leg, which I thought was super cute because he's a pastry chef, right? So that's what I was most jealous about with this interview.
He also has one of the Wild Horse 200, which he won in Wales. He also has the elevation profile tattooed on his arm, which is really cool. Anyway, really, really interesting guy to talk to and a nice way to finish off the year.
And they accommodated you dietary-wise?
Yes, but it was especially made for me.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a miso.
What did you have?
Miso egg. I've got to get this right, Miso eggplant fried sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was amazing anyway.
Nice.
So shout out. Great job, fellas.
And then you went for a run. How was that?
Yeah, good. It was nice to check out that. In my mind, because I've never run in the pine forest there, in my mind it was flat. I don't know why I thought that, because I thought it was just part of the lower area. And no, not at all. It's actually pretty juicy. So it was lovely to finally get into that area because it is like a controlled forestry area. So I got to have permission, all that sort of carry on. So it was nice to be able to get in there and have a good look around. Yeah.
And Ali, how's your week been? You've packed a lot in.
Pun intended.
Are you in your new place?
I am in a new place.
So how observant I am. Oh, my goodness.
It's been hectic, man. It's been hectic. So, just moving, cleaning, unpacking, packing, moving, cleaning. Yeah, that's mostly been the last wee while. So I'm sure anybody that's moved house will remember it with a bit of PTSD probably.
Look, it's been 15 years for me and I'm never going anywhere. You know, I think it'd be carting me out of this place in a box.
Yeah.
I remember we moved from Rotorua in midwinter and we even...
midwinter.
We were so kind of at that time, you know, like young kids, one job. I remember we drove our firewood up. We had to rent a... So we took our firewood with us because...
Is the new house choice? Are you stoked to be in there?
It's good. I think it's just, it's still unpacking mode. So there's not a lot of just kind of enjoying mode yet, but hopefully that's to come. Yeah.
Awesome.
So to recap, team, I mean, today's our last show of 2025. We are off for the next couple of weeks, but what we will be doing is doing a little DCR summer series where we will look back at the most popular of the events. And I think, Andrew, you are figured very heavily in that in your interviews that you've conducted this year, and we'll be banging them out as a little bit of a refresher, a little retaste for you to get stoked on your long runs over summer. And then we'll be back January the 14th on it'll be a Wednesday for aid station heading into Tarawera and the big races over summer.
Oh, that'll be interesting. I don't even know what our most popular shows are of this year, so that'll be fun. Find out at the same time as everyone else.
Rhymes with Spill Shore and Ram Garvey.
Ram Garvey. It's quite a good name. Okay, cool. Look forward to it.
But look, before we do that, before we get on to your interview with Damian Watson, we should probably get on with this.
It's the greatest run ever. It's the greatest run ever.
Greatest run ever. This is the part of the show where we ask you to write into us and tell us your greatest run ever. It doesn't have to be a race or a mountain summit, might just be a run around the block, something that's sung to you for some reason, and get them into us at dirtchurchradio@gmail.com. And we know that you're all training and running and having missions aplenty over the summer, so please, 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 please send them in to us. We really want to hit 2026 with a bang. And for our last greatest run ever for 2025, I would just like to give a massive virtual fist bump to Tom O'Connor in his mighty retelling of the spectacle 100K. Tom writes, I've run a dozen or so ultras in all sorts of formats, and I've never DNF'd. Well, except the ones where everyone apart from the winner DNFs. But despite that, I spent the entire taper worried I wouldn't make the 18-hour cutoff, let alone finish. Life with 3 kids, a wahine tour who trains hard, a new job, and everything else meant that training was whenever I could fit it in. I felt ready-ish, but something about the spectacle 100K had me spooked. And yes, it turned out to be tougher than my beloved Whānau hillbilly. At 3 a.m. on a quiet Nelson Main Street, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. A bit of road, then straight into the Maitai Valley River trails. Those early hours were just me and the cone of my headlamp, finally running my race. I settled into a steady 7-minute pace climb that felt like it went on forever. Then it was the first aid station. Boom. The second aid station. Boom. Sunrise on the Barney Coat Range was one of those, yep, this is where I'm meant to be moments. Then the descents hit. Years in the Whānau Ranges should have prepared me, but these were next level steep, sideways shuffling steep. I might fall off the planet steep. Rolling into Sacktown Aid Station, and Tom puts here, my wife's sleep-deprived interpretation of the X sound at 36 kilometres, I had a wee tear. I was still running. Up and down into Hackett car park at 50k and somehow still running. Even dropped a 5-minute K, which for me, halfway through an ultra, is unheard of. And then he writes, look, quick colourblind PSA. Pink, red, orange markers on green trails might as well be camo. Shout out to Chorus, the GPX file, and the runners who yelled me back whenever I drifted off the course. And to be clear, not that I'm affiliated with the Spectre, but I don't know how you get around that. Maybe sound-based marking. But anyway, back to the story. Then came the long, hot grind to Dun Mountain. Muddy, rooty, the bad kind, slippery, big Whānau old forest vibes. Every river crossing became a welcome cold plunge. The alpine rocks up top were brutal. Why do I do this territory? The drop into Maitai Dam was unreal. Beauty and quad toe carnage all at once. One of my poles snapped mid-descent, and I chucked them at my wife at the aid station like a grumpy toddler, only to instantly regret it as I set off for the last 18 kilometres, fully believing the climbing was done. It was not even close. The course threw a final surprise climbs at me that nearly did me in. Classic hands on knees, swearing at the trees, misery. But then I hit the road back into Nelson and found a sprint from somewhere, charging down the main street, people cheering me on, me grinning like a Cheshire cat, and I apologised for the colourful words I yelled to the poor volunteer who jokingly told me the course had changed and I had to go back up Dun Mountain. Not funny at the time, hilarious now. And waiting at the finish line was Matt Raymond, which is me, who's reading it. Well, he wasn't exactly waiting for me, but I was there. I was waiting for all the people who were running the ultra. And I was there on MC duties. And Tom and I have this thing, it's an unspoken tradition. I've MC'd him at, I can't remember how many ultras I've MC'd him at. backyards, and we always fist bump. We've got this thing, we fist bump. Even on Strava, the only way we communicate is with a fist bump emoji. And it's this unspoken fist bump tradition that we started during relapse 3 or 4 years ago. Lap after lap, no words, just respect. And it's mainly my respect to Tom because he's a legend. And sure enough, fist out, bump delivered. And it's Matt here jumping back in. I was up on the main stage, baking in the sun, pretty much delirious by this point because we'd been at it for like 14 hours. And I see Tom, and he's a good sort of, I don't know, he's at least 6 foot down from me. So what that fist bump entailed was me laying flat, sort of my waist off the side of the stage, looking down, like trying to hold a plank and fist bumping, but we got it done. And sure enough, fist out, bump delivered. And then he was sitting behind me on the flight home, and we had a full conversation, and the flight was uneventful. Tom was in misery because his legs were shot, but the conversation went pretty much like, "Are you doing Tarawera?" He said, "Yep." I said, "I'll see you there." And then we had a fist bump. And he writes, "I finished upright, smiling, still never having DNF'd. After the climbs, the descents, the colourblind detours, the broken pole, the sneaky hills, the damn drop, the alpine carnage. Yeah, this might genuinely be my greatest run ever." And then he puts a PS in. And for those of you who are freaked out by tales of dental misadventure, turn off now, or toenails. But he says, "PS, once I had a wisdom tooth pulled out by a so-called dental nurse on a remote island in the Indian Ocean. Raw dog, no anaesthetic. The pain I experienced yesterday, shoving a heated needle through my big toenails to pop the blisters underneath, was worse. I leave that with you. Enjoy your run, Tom." Okay, take us away, Andrew.
Yep. Well, please enjoy a wonderful chat with Damian Watson about how to travel right. I'm delighted to join you from the Muriwai
Muriwai Deli.
Jeez, that's a good start. I'm not even going to edit it out just to show how incompetent I am at this.
Oh, you're on the right track.
And joining me on a Friday morning here is Damian Watson. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Very happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome. I've been wanting to talk to you all year, which is why you were our last interview of the year. You're kind of our Christmas special interview. How does that make you feel?
It's an honour. I'm a big fan of the show, so it's cool for sure.
Maybe it's because you run so far that it's a nice way to wrap off.
Exactly.
Wrap up the end of the year.
Been a year.
You have had quite the year. In fact, you've just finished the Spectacle 50K as your most recent thing.
Yeah.
We've just been on a little run through a pine forest legally, in case anyone's listening. I kept hearing of your 1 or 2 little ailments. We don't want to let too much, we'll give too much away, but you took a bit of a stack at the Spectacle, or 2.
I did. A couple, actually 3, but one of them was into a bush, so I don't quite count that.
Well, it sounds like you should count it.
Yeah, well, it was a bit more cushion, but the other 2 were, they weren't the best. I was trying to make up some time on the downhill, and it's a pretty technical downhill during the Spectacle, and I was kind of on the borderline of being out of control, and unfortunately I did get out of control. And one in particular was a pretty hard landing, and the ribs and the calf feeling the effects of that.
Is it a cracked rib?
I think so. I'm the king of self-diagnosis, but it was.
What did ChatGPT say?
It said it was cracked. Yeah, it reiterated what I was thinking. Yeah, it was. I've cracked the rib before, and it was like the old breathing in and really sharp pain, not being able to move, getting out of the bed is horrific.
What did you crack your rib before doing?
Playing ice hockey, actually.
Ice hockey,
which was
in New Zealand.
Indeed, yeah.
Oh.
It was a long time ago.
And where are you from? Dunedin?
I'm from Dunedin, yeah.
Is that where you were playing?
I was, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I was playing down there, and obviously it's quite a physical sport, and I think someone didn't like me too much, so they hit me against the boards, and the stick went into my ribs, and a couple of cracked ribs later.
So that's a check, right?
It's a check, yeah, that's good, yeah.
Is it, how long ago are we talking here? And did you go pretty hard? Were you quite competitive?
I did, I play for the New Zealand men's team.
Oh, he says modestly.
Yeah, but remember, that's like, I always say it's like the All Blacks playing like some minnow, like Kenya or something like that, like if we were to play Canada, they'd probably put like 100 goals on us. So yes, I played for the national team, but it's not something to get too carried away with.
I'll let your teammates know that, that you consider it.
Well, hopefully they
the
don't
Kenya
hear
of
this.
rugby. Well, Kenya's quite good at rugby.
I think they are actually, yeah.
Especially
Probably
sevens, very good
yeah,
at sevens.
Yeah, true, actually. That's a bad example.
Yeah, it's all right though. We'll let it slide. Perhaps a good example would be the New Zealand 24-hour running team, minnows of the 24-hour world. It's like, I've run for them. I've run for New Zealand. I've got the singlet.
You claimed it.
I'm basically Geordie Beamish.
Exactly. But no, that was a long time ago. I stopped playing probably, I think, like 16 years ago. But always liked sports, so.
Did the person get a penalty for breaking your rib?
No, they were very sneaky about it. So, they made it look like it was a clean hit, but it definitely wasn't.
The most important thing, really, and this is coming from a father, 3 children and a dog, I really need you to explain yourself. How do you get away with the lifestyle that I've been watching? Because I met you basically a year ago by chance down in Taupo.
Yeah.
And had no idea that I would spend the next 12 months looking at you running around the world in exotic locations and on top of that running multiple 200-mile races while also being a co-business owner of a deli here in Muriwai, I say the name right now. All of that just sounds outrageous to me and my brain can't work it out. So how on earth do you get away with this?
Well, I am quite lucky because there's 4 of us that started this business together. And we all have different passions. And, luckily they let me go away for basically 6 months of the year. And I actually go work in Europe as a tour guide. And then in between that, I go and do some of those runs that you have been.
Right. 6 months, it definitely felt like 11.
From
the outside looking.
Yeah. And to be fair, when I'm here, I'm away quite a lot as well. Like I obviously just was in Brazil for a couple of weeks. But
yes, right.
We have a lot of banter down here and we give each other a lot of stick about being away. But I'm very lucky, very fortunate that I have some people that, are happy for me to go off and do these amazing adventures.
Right. So when you're, you say tour guiding.
Yeah.
And how? Like, how does that work?
So it's for a company called Trafalgar and I run tours in the UK and Scandinavia. And we're basically sitting on a bus and I take like 50 people around different sites, cities and countries.
Oh, brilliant. And this is people from around the world?
Yeah, usually like North America, Australia, the Kiwis.
So you're not required to speak any Scandinavian languages?
No. So I speak very minimal, but they're... honestly, they speak English so well over there. Like, they learn it in school. So, yeah, they actually speak English to you most of the time. Anyway, if you try and speak in their native tongue, they'll just be like, yeah, we'll just speak English.
I was about to make some comment about they see the ginger beard, but then actually there's probably plenty of that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Well. They think, a little bit of Viking heritage. Maybe, but they can tell I'm foreign pretty quickly when I butcher their language.
So obviously you can use this as an opportunity to run in all these interesting exotic places. Have you got a place that you look forward to every year because it's just an awesome location to go for a run?
Yeah, definitely. So I love like running in the mountains. That's like the thing that I love to do most, along ridge lines. And there's a couple of places in Europe, especially like Norway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'll get time in between tours and I can just go off into the mountains there and you can run anywhere you want over there. And also Austria as well. I love Austria. Just getting into the Alps and
Do you just sing The Hills Are Alive? Well,
yeah.
It must be tempting.
It is tempting. I do make that joke on the coach from time to time.
No Killian spotting while you're up in
No, I think...
You look around the ridge lines?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think he'd be too far ahead of me anyway in a second. But yeah, and actually just New Zealand in general, I feel we're so lucky here. Like I try and get down to the South Island a few times at least and, do a bit of adventure down there with the boys and yeah, it's we're so lucky here.
Yeah, sure. that is true. I mean, what a spot we're in. We're just looking across the trees to the ocean here.
Exactly.
It ain't bad, is it?
It's not bad at all.
I loved reading about your mum's report for the Wild Horse 200 race in Wales, and especially the headline saying that your mum was chuffed.
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely? How's mum, first of all?
She's good.
Because you've just been in Dunedin?
I was in Dunedin, catching up with her, and unfortunately she was, anyone that she's seen introducing me as the son that went to
prodigal
Wales.
son.
Yeah, so she's very proud, let's put it that way.
Did you know he won it in 51 hours and 51
Exactly,
minutes, about 5.5
exactly.
faster than the
was
previous race record holder?
I was like, calm down.
I do like how another one of her lines, which these are all egregiously stolen from the Otago Daily Times,
Yeah.
where it was he referring to what must have been an earlier race, I think maybe Tarawera. He had the fitness, but he lost it mentally at the end.
Oh,
How scathing from a mother.
I know. She doesn't pull any punches. That was actually Riverhead.
Oh, Riverhead.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that
okay.
was the relapse. I think I ended up getting third, but I was feeling pretty good at like 37 laps, and I just, I had one of those moments that I succumbed to, the thoughts, and I dropped down, and then, as you do with the backyards, you just furious at yourself the next day. So, yeah, she's actually pretty on the money there.
I mean, that is always, we all know this about backyards, is one moment of weakness is all it takes.
Exactly,
If you're running a 200-mile race, you can have several moments of weakness and figure
Come
it
through
out and push through.
Exactly.
Well, how was that, that Wild Horse 200? Like, moments of weakness, or was it just one of those, several days that just went amazingly well?
It really did, to be honest. Coming off the Riverhead relapse, that kind of gave me a lot of confidence. That was the first time I'd really been, at the pointy end and kind of felt like I could, be up at the top and be in the mix.
Despite having lost it mentally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, mentally just collapsed. But no, it really came together. So I kind of went there, never having done a 200-mile race, but hoping that, if I put it together, I could have a good couple of days and maybe get like top 5 or something. But yeah, it was one of those things. I kind of got like 30, 40 kilometers in and everything just kind of clicked. And I, of course, had like some low points for sure, where I lay down on the side of the trail and, kind of tried to get a bit of sleep. But overall, it went really, really well.
Are you looking over your shoulder, or are you aware that you've got hours? Or how big was the gap between first and second in the end?
I think so. It kind of fluctuated, but it was kind of over the 3-hour mark for most of the second half of the race, if not more. And because you're going through the Welsh countryside, you actually had quite a lot of reception. Mm-hmm. So I was actually getting updates from people back in New Zealand.
They were letting you know.
Yeah, they were letting me know, and they had like this really good live tracker thing. So you could get pretty good
I've seen
information.
people watching the actual trackers in the middle of a race to
Yeah,
see how far ahead they are or whatever.
So that was quite good. So I kind of knew that I had a pretty good buffer. So I didn't ease off, but I wasn't having to watch over my shoulder, which was quite nice.
Yeah, you're not stressed, which is quite, that helps, eh?
Oh,
Because you
for
burn
sure.
a lot of energy being stressed.
Definitely. So, and I could take a little bit more time at the checkpoints, the aid stations, to kind of make sure I had everything refuel properly and then get going again.
Right,
sure.
it's so 52 odd hours, it's 26 for each 100. I
Yeah.
mean, that's not mucking around, eh? That's pretty quick.
Yeah, I was a lot quicker than I had, because I had like rough, good
Yeah.
day times in my head. But yeah, it was quite a fast course, I think. So there was probably like, I don't even know, like 10,000 meters elevation. But there was quite long stretches that were runnable. So I think, compared to some other races around the world, it's probably on the faster side.
You're not on all fours.
Exactly.
trying to-
Even the big climbs where they were like, decent trails where it's not too technical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, faster than I thought it was going to be for sure.
Still 10K vert is pretty serious. Is it in the southern area of Wales?
Yeah. So exactly. It kind of started on the English-Welsh border, and then it went from the east to kind of the southwest coast. So you finished like right on this beach, which was pretty cool.
Did you hang around for others to come in?
I
It's a
did.
long time to wait.
It was, but I did. I went up and I had something to eat, and then I went out and I literally just passed out on the grass by the finish line.
Nice.
And then I waited for second and third to come in.
Yeah, good. Nice. Good
But I did have to leave pretty quick because I finished on the Friday morning and I had to start a tour on Sunday morning, a 12-day tour of the UK.
At least you're on a bus.
Yes.
So not too much walking around?
Not too much walking, but after the race, I was genuinely worried about running that tour. But thankfully, after like a good night's sleep, I wasn't too bad the next day. But I was nervous. That was one of the reasons that I wanted to try and finish as fast as possible to give myself as much time as possible.
Sounds like a sort of thing. I think Goggins would be proud of you, mate. That's,
Good motivator.
yeah, good lord. Yeah, I like the names of some of these things. Offers Dyke, traversing the Beacon's Way before catching the Heart of Wales line and finishing at Worm's Head. Wonderful names.
Yeah, I literally couldn't, like, it's Welsh language is like impossible to read. So I was just like, yeah, it was quite funny seeing some of the town names and some of the signs.
Yes, I once did a gig in Llangollen.
Yeah. There's letters that go together that shouldn't go together.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a tough one.
Okay, so you just going back to your mum's lovely lines that I've come across.
She's going to love this when she listens to it. By
Yeah.
the way.
Hi, Sharon. Hope you're well. You went to King's.
I did, yeah.
I presume there's only one King's, the Auckland one?
No, there's two.
Oh, there's two?
Yeah, this is not that King's.
Ah,
This is
okay. I thought
very different
I was just
public
thinking you were a
school.
bit fancy.
No. If you don't get me wrong, King's is a lovely school, but it's completely the opposite of that King's in Auckland. So there's a King's High School in Dunedin.
I see.
Yeah.
She says you were not the easiest child in the family to raise because you were so driven.
Yeah, I think I definitely got into trouble. And I won't go into details, but I definitely kept her up at night, and I don't know if driven is the right word. I was mischievous, let's say, but I was driven when it came to sports, I guess, which is maybe helped me out later on.
In ice hockey, of course, it's essentially you have to be very good at two totally different disciplines.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is really impressive. Mate, I really want to talk about, and I'm going to absolutely butcher this, but I'm going to give you a go first before you correct me. The 100 Ladakh Trail to Heaven. How'd I do?
That was good.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
I read that you got there about 9 days beforehand to try and acclimatise to this. It's over 5,000 metres. Is that kind of average elevation? Do you drop down and up?
You drop down, so it was between 3,600 metres and 5,400 metres.
That's pretty high, isn't it?
It was, yeah.
So this is in Nepal.
It's actually in the most northern part of India, but it's very close to Nepal. It's right on the border of Pakistan, India, and China, and then Nepal's not too far away.
Right. So you fly to India?
You fly to India,
Right.
and then you fly to Ladakh, and it's like a military zone.
Wow.
Because it's right on the border of those countries that had a lot of tension.
Okay.
So it was quite an interesting place.
So you sort of escorted to the start line?
Yeah, not to the start, but like we were like right next to a big military base, and there was a military presence everywhere. So it was quite interesting because it's a very like for the people that live there a spiritual place. Like it's like Nepal actually. There's prayer flags everywhere. There's a lot of
Sure.
kind of religious sites, and so it was an interesting juxtaposition between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet. If you're up in the mountains, are those borders patrolled?
They are now because there's been
Right.
a lot of tension there between those countries. But I didn't really see it where we were. But there was definitely patrols going on.
Are you able to sort of put all that aside while you're running the race? You sort of forget about all that and just get on with it?
Definitely, yeah. Especially when the altitude started to bite. So I was just focused on getting through it.
This is the inaugural event, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. It was the first edition, and in fact, there was only 8 athletes that they invited to come.
Invitation. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this as a result of Wild Horse?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So Brazil, they invited me to that.
That's more recent.
That's more recent.
Yep.
As the winner of Wild Horse, they invited me to Brazil. But then I got talking to the founder of 100, and he told me about this race in the Himalayas. And I said, that sounds like an incredible adventure. And then he came back to me a week later and actually invited me to come along.
Okay, I'll circle back to that race. But what is this 100 thing I've been hearing about?
So, yeah, it's. I was talking with Cameron and Boyd. It's a little bit hard for me to explain, but they are trying to create a world championship of 100, 200-mile races.
2 separate championships, or are they combining the 2?
They have almost 2 separate championships, but then they have like an overall. So you can race, they have 9 races this year. They'll have 15 races next year and 21 races a year after. And there will be winners of each category, 100 mile, 200 mile, and then also there'll be an overall winner as well. And you accumulate points. It's quite new.
Okay, so the 100-mile winners don't have to race the 200-mile.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because that would be a little tricky.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And have we got any in this mix?
New Zealand?
Yeah.
They really want to come into New Zealand. So actually they've spoken to me about that, you know, is there any races? Because they create their own races, like the one in the Himalayas, but
I
they
see.
also bring on other races.
UTMB-ish.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And they said, you know, is there any races here that, you know, would kind of suit, or could we create something there? And I was like, yeah, for sure.
What are they looking for?
They're looking for like 100-mile, 200-mile kind of mountains, you know,
Yeah.
trails.
It's one thing that we're sorely lacking here is a mountainous, non-stop 200-mile race.
Exactly. And I mean, I guess, not that I know the ins and outs of it, but with all the national parks and, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
it
I
would
can
be
hear
quite-
the Crush the Cargo guys screaming already saying, we've got one, no one turned up.
Yeah.
It must be possible. Logistically very difficult
Yeah.
because so many, you know, you can't just be like, right, well, obviously we're going to go up Mount Aspiring and then we're going to come, you know,
Exactly.
it's totally impractical. But
Exactly.
because of, so many reasons. But, you know, we've kind of either got brutal mountains or flat.
Right,
You know,
exactly. There's no real, yeah.
It's tricky to find that Austrian sort of middle ground.
100%. But they're super keen to come into New Zealand, definitely, and that's on their radar for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll watch this space. That
Yeah,
sounds interesting.
yeah, it's interesting for
All
sure.
right. So this will. Have they got? I presume like your Western States and your UTMB and things that are not part of this.
No, but they've got a race coming in Australia next year. There's another race in Portugal, Oman, all these interesting countries. They're trying to take races to also countries that don't necessarily have a foothold, because obviously
Right.
Europe and North America is very much the kind of ultra trail running scene
Yeah,
to a certain extent.
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly growing everywhere else.
Yeah, it is for sure, and they want to be, you know, part of that.
I love reading about going back to Ladakh, Sherpas at aid stations.
Yeah.
How cool is that, right?
It was really cool, actually.
Um,
They had 42 in total.
42 aid stations.
42 Sherpas.
42 Sherpas,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I just find that's a great sign, as to be just involving local community as much as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Besides, there's not probably, I mean, I'm just imagining an aid station at 5,500 metres. There's not too many people that could man that aid
Exactly,
station.
and they make it look easy. They're just cruising out. They're probably laughing at me because I was so busted.
You weren't taking so
Yeah,
long.
they're like, what's going on here?
You munted your toes?
Yeah, yeah.
What happened? Wrong shoes? Or?
No, so, well, possibly, yeah. But I went over because they had 4 mountain passes that were over 5,000 metres. So the second pass, I was really starting to feel the altitude. And I actually sat down with the Sherpas before I made the final push, because there was an aid station. And I said, I'm not so sure I should continue up there, because I was starting to get a bit
Wobbly.
wobbly. And they
Okay.
were like, reassured me, and they pointed out there's Sherpas up the top there, so you'll
Okay.
be fine. But then once I got up to the top, which was probably, you know, one of the most brutal climbs with the lack of oxygen that I've ever managed.
Yeah, wow.
Then afterwards, you had to descend through like an 8-kilometre gorge, and you had to cross a river probably like 20, 25 times. And I was stumbling a bit, like I wasn't, you know, super coordinated just because of the altitude, and I just was smashing my feet on every rock. Like, I think, if there was a world championship for kicking rocks, I would win it for sure. So then by the time I did that 8 kilometres, I got into an aid station and my feet were just absolutely battered.
How far into the race are you at this point?
The aid station was only about 90 kilometres in, so
So much to go.
yeah, it's a long time to go.
I understand the final section was overly technical, perhaps?
Yeah,
Would you say?
it was. Yeah, it was very.
Are you in the
tricky.
dark at this point?
No, so the sun had come up. Like the first half of the miler, probably I think it took me like 12 hours, and the second half took me nearly 24 hours.
Whoa.
So things just ground to a halt. But we were basically descending a river, but there was no trail.
Oh,
So you're just, you know, boulder hopping.
Picking your way.
Yeah. And then we had to cross rivers throughout the race, but on that riverbed, it was like past my waist because the water had obviously risen. So I was
and is it in freezing? 'Cause
freezing.
It's come off the mountains, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I was really struggling at that point. Like I was hallucinating, obviously very sleep deprived, and the altitude had I think it was like a cumulative effect. I felt honestly, I kind of explained it like I felt like I was in a dream for a good chunk of the second half of the race. Like I wasn't there, but I was. So it was quite tough. Might have been easy before, but yeah, it wasn't at that time.
in some ways, like not being completely present can be a good thing.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I was hanging on at that point. It was just about finishing.
You got second, is that right?
Yes.
Were you leading for the first half if you ran it in 12 hours?
So I led it until that aid station I mentioned, and then when I left there, I really got quite. I don't know if I was getting in my head about the altitude, but I started to feel like I was losing my footing, and I got really worried about how I was feeling. So I actually stopped and waited for the second place guy to catch up.
Oh, right.
Because
Just to have the company and
and I was worried that if I did go down, there's no one around and I had no cell service. So I waited for him, and he ended up going on to win.
And then he blasted.
Yeah, pretty
thanks
much.
for waiting for me, mate.
He hung out a little bit, then he just kind of took off.
Oh, rude.
But he kept me going anyway, and
Right.
then I actually overtook him again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then he passed me with about 14 kilometres to go, and then
And that was
that was it. I really slowed down at that point.
I love how you can have an experience like that with all these challenges and that sort of carry on. And I imagine your reflections on it are like hugely positive. It's totally epic, right?
For sure. Yeah, it was a wild adventure, and I loved everything about it. But it was by far the hardest race I've done.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was 100 miles, right?
It was 100 miles.
Rather than 200 miles.
Yeah.
And yet still the hardest.
By far.
How long? So 36 hours?
And yeah, so they had 36 hours as a cutoff. Only two of
Oh.
us made it within the cutoff, and I came in at like 35 hours 30, or something like that.
You knew it was 36 hours? Like, so you were
it 'cause
chasing that?
I was watching my watch be like, I was watching it get closer and closer, but yeah, thankfully I got there in just under.
Avis.
Yeah, and then, it was.
That's kind of cool. Only two people finished. So did they sort of let people come in afterwards?
So only 4 of us finished it out of the 8. One guy
Right.
didn't even make it to the start line because he got altitude sickness and ended up in hospital. And then another 3 dropped, and then the other 2 they just let finish, and they came in after the cutoff
Yeah.
time.
Did they? No, they're holding the middle going, not for you.
No, they were pretty good. They actually
They
gave
were-
them. They were like, we should have made the cutoff time longer.
yeah,
like,
clearly.
looking back, and they
I presume
acknowledged that
next year.
for
those
sure.
sort
They
of
reckon
things.
like 48 hours.
Yeah, and they're building a nice walkway for you.
Yeah, exactly.
next time
yeah,
for
yeah,
that- for
just
that
a nice
section.
trail down the riverbed.
Something tells me why. So, okay, so that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Brazil, which you did about a month ago.
Yeah, it would be about a month ago.
That looked like a humdinger of a finish.
Yeah.
And can you sort of just talk about what that experience was like? I've been to Brazil. I've run in Brazil, and people looked at me like there was something wrong with me. I imagine the community's changed a little bit over the last little while. But how was the support?
So yeah, you're exactly right. Like trail running is definitely something that's become more popular recently, and before that it was almost non-existent. So that was the first 200-mile race ever in Brazil.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there was like the Jungle Ultra or something, wasn't there?
Yeah,
years
which
ago?
I think is 100 miles or 100 kilometers.
100 miles.
Yeah, but this is the
Sounded
first time.
so gnarly.
Yeah, they go through like the Amazon.
Yeah, like you're gonna die, sure.
Yeah, like there's, you're gonna get bitten by a mosquito and come back with
everything's gonna
something.
kill you.
Yeah, it is a little bit daunting. But yeah, it was quite an amazing event because we started and finished in a small town called Novo Trento, and the whole town was just all about it.
No
you know?
kidding.
Yeah, they loved it. Like,
Wow.
yeah, they supported, and then the aid stations, obviously it was a language barrier, but they were super helpful there. But of course, it's definitely not like, going and doing UTMB or Western States. The food was a bit different, probably lacking a little bit. But
Did they have the meat skewers and those?
just Brazilian barbecue.
Yeah, the Brazilian
like-
barbecue.
Gee, that would have been all right, actually.
Yeah, lots of obrigados. I
Yeah,
imagine, at aid
that's it.
stations.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, it was an amazing experience. Like the local people, the other Brazilian athletes, and just the event itself was organised really well. You felt very looked after, and yeah, it was something. It was cool.
Was it a single loop?
So it was, but it did like almost like 4 like loops, and you kind of almost crossed paths a few times, but it went up into the different mountains. But it was one big loop. You didn't kind of do an out and back or
Wow.
anything like that.
That's amazing. And are we talking quite technical trail or are we fire roads or?
No, so that's the thing. I had no idea what I was going into. I assumed because we were in like the jungle, it was going to be like crazy technical
The
stuff.
old don't look at the course beforehand.
Exactly.
trick,
Well,
right.
there wasn't a huge amount of like. There was
Yeah.
So it was, but there was a couple of climbs that were incredibly technical, and like you're climbing over trees, under rocks. But actually, I would say probably 70% of it was forestry road.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why it was, again, it was quite a quick course and fast times.
And not too hilly, or sort of
It was quite hilly, but like not big long climbs, just lots of punchy, really steep climbs.
Yeah,
So
that you get often in forestry.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think there was it was 12,000 meters elevation in the end.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was
it's still-
decent.
Still decent, eh?
Yeah. But it was really cool because basically 3 of us we got a huge gap on the rest of the pack. I think it got
How many starters?
there was, I think, 30.
Okay.
Yeah. And we got, like a good sized gap. So basically the 3 of us were fighting for the podium. And unlike Wild Horse, I knew that there was 2 guys behind me and then eventually one in front of
Oh,
me.
so
that
you were leading for a
I
while.
was leading from about the 100K mark to the 245K mark.
Ooh.
And then Martin, who ended up winning, kind of flew past me in one of those moments where you just doubt everything.
Oh, no.
Because he looked so strong, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, there he goes. I won't see him again.
But that's the oldest trick in the book, isn't it?
Exactly.
You
turn
pass
and
someone,
burn.
you give it 110%.
Smiling and waving as he
Yeah.
went past.
Yeah.
But it was really cool because there was no relaxing like Wild Horse. In my head, I was just telling myself to keep pushing, because I knew
This is a race.
This is a race, and we raced right till the end.
Mm.
So Martin, I think, finished just under 25 minutes in front of me.
Wow, that is nothing.
Yeah,
In 200 miles.
And I saw him at the last major aid station. He was having a sleep, and I didn't realize at the time, but he told me later. I came in and he heard my voice and he jumped up immediately.
So if you'd been quiet,
Yeah,
maybe.
who knows? And then he took off. And then Bruno, who finished in 3rd, he was, I think, 40 or so minutes behind me.
Okay.
So it was quite a...
Where are these guys from?
So Martin he's French,
Okay.
but he lives in Switzerland, and Bruno's from Portugal.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
At least he's got the language in his favour.
Exactly, yeah. And, he was funny. He had at one of the aid stations, he had a beer mixed with like lemonade. I thought about it.
Isn't that,
Like a shandy kind of thing.
what's a snake bite?
Yeah, I think that's what
Is it
it
a
is.
snake bite?
I think it's the same thing, yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's roughly that. Andrew from the future here. Yeah, not really that close. A snake bite is half beer, half cider. If you add a little bit of blackcurrant cordial to it, apparently it becomes a diesel. There you go.
I saw that. I was like, that actually looks quite refreshing, but I didn't dare try it.
I reckon you'd be right, eh?
Yeah.
I reckon it'd go down pretty well, to be honest.
But no, honestly, it was an amazing race, and just, racing with them and kind of chopping and changing the lead. It was a lot of fun.
So does that mean Martin is now the world champion?
No, so they actually released the standings, and I ended up being on top for the overall category and
so
the
you're
200
the world
mile.
champion.
Well,
Hey, world champion! Woo!
I mean, it's not like it's the Rugby World Cup, it's a world championship that they've created, but, why
Well,
not?
no one else is.
Yeah, I'll take it.
There you go.
I'll take it.
Where's the trophy?
I'm waiting. They're going to send it in the post, I think.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. Is that just based on, the combination of the races?
Yeah, so...
You did 2, right?
I did 3.
3.
So they actually counted the Trail to Heaven, which was the one in Ladakh.
Okay, so that's part of the
Yeah,
tour, right?
but again, they're still a relatively new onto the scene, so they're kind of... This year in particular, they grew a lot, but, they're still kind of working out the nuts and bolts of it all.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I hope they can work something out here. It would be pretty damn cool to have a single loop,
Yeah.
200-mile
Yeah.
course.
I'm
I
okay,
don't know
yeah.
where or how, but if someone can work it out.
I honestly think they will. They seem very driven, and they are super interested in New Zealand, and they believe that they have this trail series around the world. They can't not have a race here.
Yeah, I mean, no offence to Naseby or Crusher Cargill, that it'd be nice not to do loops.
It's pretty brutal.
You know.
I noticed how you emphasised the single loop before.
Yeah, that's right. It's very important to. I mean, that's someone who's a massive fan of, as you know, Northburn, and that's kind of 3 loops of which some bits repeat and that sort of carry on. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm accepting of that. I understand why they have to do that.
Yeah.
And I actually think it's pretty amazing that you can have a 100-mile race on a single property.
Yeah,
which
for
is
sure.
astonishing.
Yeah, and it's quite brutal.
You know, and it's tough enough. So someone just needs to buy a bigger station and let us have a 200 miler on that.
Exactly. That
What's
would be.
Shania Twain doing these days? How big's her?
You got her on speed dial. Give her a call.
I did like how your running club is listed as Muriwai Beach. Are you the only member, or is there
No,
is that an
actually,
actual thing?
that is a thing. So we have the McDowall Sea Slugs, actually, we're now called.
I see.
And so we have the run club, and every Sunday at 8 a.m. we start from here. And we go to where we went for a run out in the pines over there, do 7 or 8K. So all is welcome. And then the best thing is you can come and have a donut or a pastry and completely undo all the hard work that
That's true, isn't it?
with that run. But no, the McDowall Sea Slugs,
Okay, Muriwai Sea
proud
Slugs.
member, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Is that an official Athletics New Zealand registered?
I don't know about that, you know.
Probably could be.
Yeah, we'll look at that for sure.
I know they want to sort of be as inclusive as possible these days. I want to sort of talk about, you haven't actually been doing this long. Like, when was your first trail race?
So my first trail race was in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah,
5 years ago.
2021, sorry.
4 years ago.
Yeah. So I did the Auckland Marathon with the boys from the Deli
Oh, yeah.
in 2020, and then we did the 54-kilometre West Coast Ultra.
Yeah, I've got that noted here as finishing 42nd in 6 hours flat. You know, not terrible.
No,
but
not.
you're setting loftier standards these days.
Yeah. So that was obviously early days, and at that point in time, it was just about finishing.
Sure.
And had so much to learn, you know.
In a short space of 4 years, you've gone a hell of a long way, especially because, you know, 200 miles, well, some people might just be discovering out of nowhere that they're actually really good at it and not realise it. You know, I'm sure there's
Exactly.
people out there that are really good at 200-mile races and just haven't done it. However, you're finishing fourth at the Spectacle 50K.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be fast, like
Yeah.
straight up leg speed, like a really good athlete. And so we're talking going from, the South Island Ultra is a fairly runnable
Definitely,
race.
yeah.
What, apart from the obvious, like training and, you know, getting better, is there some sort of thing that you can put your finger on that's led to this relatively meteoric, sounds a bit over the top, but, you know, impressive rise in a short space of time?
Yeah. I mean, as you said, obviously the training is the main reason, I would think. But I think last year I kind of switched focus on my training and I started just focusing on elevation.
Aha.
So I wanted to just run as much elevation as I could. And I feel like that's had a massive impact on my running.
Right.
I don't know if it's, you know, coincided with many other things, but, you know, changing and just seeking out hills and clocking up the elevation definitely helped me improve. But also I think Riverhead Relapse was a big moment for me. As I said earlier, it was kind of realising that I could actually push myself a lot harder than I probably realised. Before that, I was going to races, not necessarily with goals in mind, just to, you know, finish the race. But then with Riverhead Relapse, I think something switched. And then I went to the race in Wales and I was like, I'm not just turning up to finish this. I want to...
Yeah, that's a real mindset shift, isn't it?
Honestly, and that has probably been the biggest thing for me, you know, turning up to these races. I still have like imposter syndrome. When I went to Brazil, I was like looking at these other runners. I was like, there's no chance I'm going to do well here. But again, I just went into it and things started to click and I just told myself, you know, like just push as hard as you can. And I've just been surprising myself of how deep you can actually go and how much I had in the tank.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think honestly it's just been a mindset shift for me this year especially.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome is perfectly good, and some would say some of that is healthy.
Yeah.
It keeps you honest. It keeps you working hard.
Exactly.
I think if you turn up to race with I'm going to waste all of you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. Does Jim Walmsley turn up to the start of Western States sort of worried about it? Probably.
Yeah, I think
You
so.
know, I don't think he turns up thinking I'm going to waste you all.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
So it's probably perfectly fine and natural. But
Yeah.
I love your comment about like really finding out how deep you can dig and pushing through that. And to me, it feels like you're just getting started.
Yeah, for me too, actually. This year's been a whirlwind with all the races and traveling all around the world, but I'm super excited.
Do you get automatic upgrades? Like, you like flying business class?
Oh, no, I wish. My
With your King's College background?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're King's High School.
But
no.
your frequent flyer miles must be amazing. Or
No,
did you-
they're not at all, because
Right.
I have the ear points with Air New Zealand.
Yes.
But I just go for whatever's going for cheap.
You're
So-
getting the
yeah. So I'm
the
like,
serious savers.
Yeah. I'm looking around. I'm not going the most budget airline, but I'm not going the top airline by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So no, unfortunately, I get the odd little perk from Air New Zealand for my domestic flight, but nothing crazy. No upgrades.
No upgrades. Okay.
Not as yet.
Well, maybe. Yeah, I was going to say let's see how that one goes.
Yeah.
I just think it's amazing that you're able to juggle being part of this. I mean, you know, I own my own business and I can barely leave the chair. This is a luxury for me to be even.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be going straight back there after this.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that you can still, you know, have these incredible adventures. I guess the obvious question is, what's next?
So Tarawera, Myla is next. And I locked that in a few weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So Riverhead Relapse, I feel like I've got some unfinished business there. So
What's the gap between
it's about
the
a
two?
month.
Okay.
But I had a lot of encouragement from the guys that I own the deli with. They want me to go to Tarawera and basically send it.
Are they going to crew you?
They are, yeah.
Excellent.
And they've been kind of in my ear for probably a few months now, you know, needling away at me. And then I finally was like, yep, I'm going to do it. And that's, you know, kind of the A race. And I hopefully will get the body sorted and then can, you know, rip into some training. And I'm really looking for, I love the event. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
we'll
it's
always
amazing.
go to Tarawera and do something. And yeah, I can't wait to go back.
I think the course will, I mean, you know most of it, but like it will really suit you
Yeah.
and suit the way that you've been running some of these races.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of exciting.
It is
See how
exciting.
fast you can smash that out.
Yeah.
And so that in relapse, any big overseas? You don't know yet. Are you doing the same sort of thing next year?
Yeah,
your
so
touring?
yeah, at this stage, I do have one race locked in, which is the Swiss Peaks,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
which is
How far's?
it's a miler, but
Yeah.
it's got like 24,000 meters elevation. But it looks absolutely stunning.
The hell?
Not that you could enjoy it, would you?
That's outrageous.
Yeah, but I actually will talk with 100 and probably lock in some races with them next year. But yeah,
Get some sort of freebie ambassador thing going.
That would be nice,
Yeah.
you know.
A little word.
I've got a little rapport going with them, so it's quite nice.
And just to finish off, mate, I mean, thank you so much for your time. The question we ask everybody to finish the year off, greatest run ever?
Greatest run ever. I think it would have to be the Himalayan one.
Wow.
Even though that was probably the most painful, but the whole experience, the adventure of it, like trying something completely different with the altitude, and just the place itself, it was special. At the time, maybe I'd say something different.
Very
but,
relatable.
Yeah, but looking back, it was a unique and amazing experience.
Oh, brilliant, mate. Well, congratulations on an incredible 2025.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you all the best with 2026.
Thank you. You too. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.
So here we are. It's our last show, and for the last however long I've gone, hey, let's wrap it up and give them reflections. But I'll turn the mic over to you two. What are you thankful for? What are you hopeful for next year? I know we kind of covered it off, but what would you like to say to the listeners? It's been your first full year of DCR.
Aw, just want to say thanks for letting us into your lives. Like, you know, it's a conscious choice what you put between your ears, and I appreciate that you enjoy listening to all of our chats that we have, whether it's crap talking in the aid stations or serious lighthearted interviews with athletes. Yeah, it's a real honour to be part of your life. So thank you for that.
Everything Ellie just said, and of course, yeah, and a thank you to the people that have said yes to being interviewed. You know, it's great that, I mean, some of our New Zealand's top athletes, you just say, hey, you want to come on and have a chat? They're always straight away, yep, sure, no worries. When do you want? You know, it's a pretty cool community out there. So thanks to both sides of it all.
I second that. I've got nothing to add. I've been doing this long enough that I'm just stoked to be here and amazed that another year of Dirt Church Radio is over and looking forward to 2026 because it's, things feel like they're on the up. So it's cool. Dirt Church Radio is presented by me, Matt Raymond.
Me, Ali Pottinger.
Me, Andrew McDowall.
We're on all the podcast platforms, so like, follow, and give us a rating. It helps. And we're on social media at Dirt Church Radio, and you can email us at dirtchurchradio@gmail.com.
And remember to sign up to our Substack for a weekly newsletter and aid station podcast. Also write in with your greatest run ever. We'd love to hear from you, and you can read them on the website too.
Thank you so much to our supporters this year. Further Faster, That's It, Squadron, and of course our Substack subscribers in the DCR Aid Station crew. We love making that episode every couple of weeks for you guys.
As we said before, we'll be back on January the 14th, but have a great time over summer. We wish you light, love, muddy ankles, and stay tuned for our DCR Summer Series. Mā te wā.